So the Washington Commanders are officially going all in this year, and you gotta love it, man. When you have a rookie quarterback that's playing at an MVP type of caliber, you gotta go for it every year, especially when they're on their rookie contract, which Jaden Daniels is. You have to take advantage of that low number, that low cap hit. So it's kind of crazy to say, and I don't think it's premature to really make this statement, but and like it's crazy to say aloud, but the Washington Commanders Super Bowl window is kind of right now. It's for the next 4 years, and I know it's really early to say that. We've only seen Jaden Daniels for 10 weeks now, but come on, man. He passes every test imaginable, and I know it's extremely early in his career, and from a year ago, we saw CJ Stroud as a rookie come in, play at an MVP caliber level, and I feel like the sophomore slump has kind of hit him a little bit. We'll see if that happens with Jaden Daniels, especially if Cliff Kingsbury leaves and gets a head coaching gig elsewhere, but we'll figure out all that stuff in the future. But for right now, the Commanders traded for Marshon Lattimore, a very good get. Just a solid corner to help out that secondary and that defense immediately. Dan Quinn is going to use him very well, I imagine. And also, there was a report that Washington was supposedly a hotspot for a lot of trade candidates, and again, that's just another crazy thing to say out loud. For the longest time since I've been alive, Washington really hasn't been that competitive, besides like some odd years with RG3's rookie year and Kirk Cousins, like that one time he took them to the playoffs, I believe. But besides those 2 years, Washington has been a pretty embarrassing franchise, at least in my lifetime. And, with how Dan Snyder was running the team for the longest time, the fact that Washington is now a hotspot for trade candidates, and I'm sure a bunch of free agents and draft prospects in the 2025 offseason, it's just crazy to think. If you're a Commanders fan, you gotta be really excited and really just happy. It's just like on cloud nine right now, man. Like from 0 to 100, I'm happy for you guys. I am. The only thing about the Commanders, man, is just I hope they kind of get a rebrand, because the whole team name Commanders, I'm not big on that. I know a lot of people aren't big on that. So I actually didn't mind the Washington football team. It was just so unique and goofy that it's just kind of charming to a certain extent. I kind of like that name more than the Commanders, but that's just me. Who knows? Maybe they'll go back to the Redskins. The actual guy that they based the logo on had a quote about a month and a half ago, and he actually wants the Commanders to bring back his logo. That guy wants the Redskins name back in Washington, and I'm sure a lot of fans would want that too. And it's funny too, I know I still haven't got to Marshon Lattimore, but there's a lot going on here. It's funny, the Kansas City Chiefs have a similar kind of name as the Redskins, kind of like that Indian-based team name, and the reason why the Chiefs didn't get canceled when the Redskins did is because the Chiefs have always been competitive. They were always a winning franchise since Andy Reid has gotten there. So the reason why the Redskins had to change their name is because they were run by Dan Snyder and they were losing a ton of games and they were a basement team. So, winning cures everything, and you never know. Hopefully the Redskins get their name back. Let me know if you think they should get the Redskins team name officially back, or would you rather something else? Or are you a fan of the Commanders team name? Let me know in the comments. But back to the present. I'm sorry, I just had to get all that off my chest. It's just really exciting times if you're a Commanders fan right now. And this news just cements it. So the Commanders are getting Marshon Lattimore and a 5th round pick as they send a third, a 4th and a 6th to New Orleans. 3 picks for Marshawn Lattimore, and I feel like he's well worth it. I'm not sure if he's in his prime anymore, but still a solid corner, and I hope he can stay healthy. And like I said, he's going to have an immediate impact on this defense. Marshawn is under contract through the 2026 year, so they'll have a couple years left with him. The only kind of downside to Marshawn and why he hasn't really lived up to his full potential, besides his rookie season, which he won Defensive Rookie of the Year, is injuries, man. He hasn't played a full season since 2018, and even this year he's missed a couple games. And I just hope his body can stay healthy and he can get back to his all-pro form, which he hasn't made the Pro Bowl since 2021. The secondary has been an issue for the Commanders for many years, and this will definitely help them a lot. So I'm really excited to see his impact right away. And not only that, man, but I don't know about you guys, but Jayden Daniels has been my favorite player to watch by a large margin for this NFL year. Last year, for me, I was definitely watching a lot of Texans games. CJ Stroud was just on another level, but Jayden Daniels is kind of that guy for me this year. I'm curious if you guys have a favorite player to watch right now in the NFL. Let me know in the comments below. So yeah, man, like I said, this is a win now mode, and the Commanders front office, the Commanders team is going all in for this year. Their window is officially open. Now, I know a lot of people over social media are saying, stop the nonsense, the Commanders aren't going to the Super Bowl, blah, 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 blah. And, I feel like they have very valid points and reasoning to think that, but they're currently second place in the NFC right now, and the only team I really see that's kind of significantly better than them right now is probably the Detroit Lions. Now, those Eagles games are going to be quite fascinating to see how they match up against each other. I think the Commanders are better than the Eagles. I don't believe in Sirianni at all, but still, it's a rivalry type of game, so we'll see what happens and how it plays out. And I know the NFC is loaded, and I'm not trying to be biased here, but you just never know. Sometimes teams get hot, and I feel like that defense can be competent and they can get it done. I just hope Jayden Daniels stays healthy, because I don't really think we've seen a quarterback that's kind of been as slender as him since RG3, and as we all know, RG3 really didn't last long at all. And I just want to see Jayden in the playoffs, man. I know he's looked spectacular in pretty much every game for a rookie quarterback, and I'm really curious to see what he does under the lights. But yeah, for all those naysayers saying that, the Commanders aren't going to the Super Bowl, it's very valid. It's very, very valid. I'm just a hopeful believer. You never know. And that's the thing, too. The NFC is really, really loaded, too. As of right now, the playoff picture is Detroit, Washington, Atlanta, Arizona, Minnesota, Eagles, Packers. I think if I had to make a prediction right now, I think the NFC Championship game is probably going to be the Lions and the Packers. But I feel like the Commanders are right there at the third spot, in my opinion. I think the Vikings are a good team, but they just seem like a one-and-done team to me in the playoffs. We'll see. I just don't know if I'm ready to trust Sam Darnold at that level just yet. Philly, I just don't like Sirianni. I don't think he's capable to really beat a good head coach. Atlanta and Arizona, I feel like they have very bright futures along with Washington, but I just don't think they're primed right now. Who knows? I could be wrong. But regardless, man, very exciting times for Commanders fans, Washington fans. Great move, great trade in my opinion. Let me know if you like the trade. Let me know how far you think the Commanders are going to get this year. It just takes one run, man. It just takes one run, and it's been a pretty magical season so far, so you never know. Not saying it's going to happen, but you never know. If you made this far, please subscribe. It would help out your boy a ton. And that's all I got for right now. Peace.
And they got it off the punt. And now they need points, and they do have timeouts to work with here in the final 2 minutes.
Yeah, having those timeouts is everything. What do we always say? Use those timeouts in the first half. In the second half, protect them like they're gold. Give this offense and the coach credit. They saved a couple, and that's going to help them in this drive.
Manziel's got it in the gun. And the reception by Anderson. That's McCourty making the stop.
Well, the quarterback showed off his arm strength that time, didn't he? He put the football right on the money, on a line, right into the receiver's hands.
The Patriots will come out in the dime. Manziel's back in shotgun formation. C.J. Anderson with the catch. First down, pressure on every snap now. The offense is set at the line for the first down after that completion. And Daniels is there to catch a ball that had a lot of heat on it.
The old-fashioned way of picking up big yardage is running the fly route on the outside. Show the speed of the receiver and the strength of the quarterback's arm. What a nice completion.
Manziel standing back in the shotgun, ready for the snap. Look at that concentration as he makes the grab. Denver in for the score. Sanders' second touchdown of the game.